Welcome to our live webinar today on the topic Understand the Importance of Corporate Legal Advice and How to Build a Career in It. Guys, you are in for great luck because we have a whole esteemed list of panelists and faculty members who are specifically here today to answer all your questions and your queries. And on that note, I want to let you know we are also accepting our admissions applications for this program. So please go ahead to the admissions.mitwpu.edu.in and choose the program of your choice and please apply. Currently accepting applications, so let's not be late on that. Let's give it an early start so that we are in time for it. Of course, I also want to let you know that we have the live Q&A section. So all of you can start typing in your questions. Our panelists will be answering your questions and you can start that right away in the Q&A section that we have. Please avoid the chat facility, that is only for technical issues. So please leave your questions onto the Q&A part of it. And now we would like to jump to the first part of our webinar today, which is the presentation we have for you on the topic. So over to you, Dr. Inamdar.
Thank you, Suchi. Hello, everyone. Welcome to MIT World Peace University, Faculty of Law. Myself, Dr. Purnima Inamdar, Head of the School Faculty of Law. I'm here to guide you about the career in law through this session. I'm having with me the team of 4 professors as the panelists. Dr. Shailashri Hida, she is the Dean of Faculty of Law. Professor Chainika Basu, Professor Ketki Davi, Professor Divyanshu Priyadarshini. We all will be answering your question. You can post your question in a Q&A session. Let's proceed with our presentation. In Faculty of Law, we have BBA LLB Honors and BCom LLB Honors program. It's a 5 years integrated law program with 15 trimesters. The uniqueness of law program, it is honors program with specialization in 4 honors group. That is business law, constitution, intellectual property rights, and main thing is that about the ADR, that is alternative dispute resolution. In MIT WPU, it's a perfect blend of theory and the practical subject, the integration of management subject with law. For example, the core management subject is PPMOB, that is a principle and practice of management and organizational behavior. How can we connect that management subject with law? So when we are talking about PPMOB, we can connect it with business law, corporate law, Consumer Protection Act, industrial and labor law. Similarly, in case of marketing management, we can integrate it with Consumer Protection Act, restrictive trade practice, unfair trade practice, etc. Now the question is that always in the mind of the students, what are my career options after law? Now choosing the right program for college is often a difficult task. Through this webinar, we will help you to make your decision. What is the correct profession for you after your 12th? Second thing is that when we are discussing about the concept of law, what is law? It is very, very important part of our life because society and law, they are like 2 sides of a same coin. So if you want to join law course and specifically in the area of corporate law, it is very, very important that you are joining the group of lawyers, judges, and lawmakers. Why law? Because no one is above law. Law is a supreme authority. And that's why for excellent graduate prospects, intensive skill development, potential employment is there in every branch of government, whether it's executive, legislature, and the judiciary. And the thing is that when we are discussing about the scope of law in general, it gives you benefit of multiple disciplines at the same place. Why law? Because law is the supreme. So there are various career options available for you like litigation, judiciary, academician, corporate lawyer, public prosecutors, etc. As today's topic is related with the corporate law, the role of corporate lawyer and the importance of corporate webinar, to discuss about the importance of corporate in the world of law. So these are some eminent personalities like Kapil Sibal, Subramaniam Swamy, Zia Modi, she is the founder of AZB Partners, and Harish Sarve. What are the importance of corporate legal advice? Establishing and running a business requires several legal steps because laws are constantly changing and it is necessary to comply with current legislation. And law is a specialized field which gives you the knowledge, information, and legal advice to correct advice for your given situation, which will help you to expand your business, to flourish your business and the growth and development of any corporation. A good legal advice can save a lot of money and time for any business. What is the role of corporate lawyer? It can enlighten an individual in the legal issues relation with the business. It helps a company take important legal decisions. It prepares any legal documentation, whether it's a contract deed, lease deed, sale deed, agreement between the employers and the employees, agreement between the companies, etc. It also advises a company during its incorporation for preparing the memorandum of association and article of association. So we can say the role of corporate lawyer is very, very important because it offers support and key advice on bylaws amendments like article of association, even the memorandum of association, and it gives advice to the administration of the company. Now, what is the success mantra to become a successful lawyer? To become a successful lawyer, following success mantra plays a very, very important role. In order to make your future bright and demanding, make sure to develop persuasive oration skill, negotiation skills, drafting and pleading, interpretation. Now, what is drafting, pleading, and interpretation? Interpretation plays very, very important role when you are going to practice before the court of law, whether it's a lower court, high court, or the Supreme Court. What is interpretation? For that matter, I'm just giving you the example of this particular glass of water. It's a glass of water. It's a half glass is full with water. That is the one lawyer will say. Second lawyer will say half glass is empty. That is the second interpretation. Now, what is the judge's interpretation? According to the judge will say half glass is full with water and half glass is full with air. So that is the art of advocacy and the interpretation. So these all are the success mantra for becoming a successful advocate, successful lawyer, or you can say the successful corporate lawyer. Working with a peer group and stay updated with developing legal news. For example, when we are talking about Chhapak movie, suddenly we can take about that particular concept, that is acid attack with victim and all that. So these all are the very, very important issues, legal issues, which one must aware about when you're going to practice before the court of law. Next, when we are going to discuss about the importance of law, importance of corporate law, what is important? Internship and placement plays a very, very important role, because I can say it's a backbone of any stream, whether it's a law, whether it's a commerce, whether it's a engineering or the management. And for that matter, the contribution of the advisory members are very, very important. And we are fortunate to have a legal luminaries, the legal who's who of the legal field as our advisory members. To name some, they are the advocate Makarand Adkar. He is the practicing advocate of Supreme Court. Anand Desai, managing partner of DSK Legal. Mrunalini Deshmukh, she is the High Court advocate and additional director of the Kirloskar Industries Limited. Mohan Punglia, he is the barrister of UK. Then Kashmir, advocate Satish Mani Shinde, he is the advocate of Salman Khan. And Mr. Dilip Uge, Professor Dr. Dilip Uge, he is the Vice Chancellor of MNLU Mumbai. So under the guidance and the supervision of these all eminent lawyers, academicians, and the judges, the Faculty of Law developed their students for their better future and for their growth in the legal field. When we are discussing about the concept of law, the unique feature of MIT WPU Faculty of Law plays a very, very important role to discuss about what exactly the concept and how it is different from other law schools. The first, we believe in the value-based learning. Now, what is the meaning of value-based learning? Which means that we believe in value-based learning like peace, yoga, legal immersion, rural immersion program, legal aid, national study tour, international immersion program, which resulting into overall development of the student. Which means he should be physically fit, mentally alert, intellectually sharp, and spiritually elevated. And that is the reason in MIT WPU, we added certain unique features for the overall development of the student. So these all are the unique features. Novice, it's a moot court for the first year student, rural immersion program, research oriented, and the last thing is that value added program, that is the certificate program. So here in our university, there are certain certifications program like certificate in cyber law, intellectual property right, taxation, and industrial and the labor law. The question is that what is the difference at MIT WPU, specifically in relation with the law? A basket of enriched subject involving a good blend of core law with management. I've already discussed how law and management are interrelated with each other. How they are related with each other. It's the best combination of management and law if you want to pursue your career in corporate. Like management and law. For corporate houses, what is important? Your knowledge about management and law plays a very, very important role if you want to become a successful corporate lawyer, or if you want to start your own firm, corporate house. For that matter, the perfect blend of law courses with management is there in MIT WPU Faculty of Law. Along with core subject, that is the compulsory subject according to the approval of Bar Council of India, there are honors specialization subjects also, like business law, constitutional law, dispute resolution, intellectual property rights, etc. Along with that, I've already discussed the certificate courses are there. And one of the important aspect of law, which shows the uniqueness of the law program, is that there is a career option in the 3 branches of the government, that is executive, legislature, and judiciary. So this is the internship and placement. As internship and placement is the backbone of any stream, any faculty. So here also, though in the first year, the internship is not compulsory according to the Bar Council of India rules, but here in MIT WPU, we provide compulsory voluntary internship to the students in private law firms, courts, and advocates office. So again, hands-on experience through legal aid and rural immersion program. I just want to add one thing. Legal aid program is very, very important. It's an important component of law study because it gives you the experience, hands-on experience to deal with the client, actual client. So in rural immersion program, you can visit villages and you can give free legal advice to the villagers regarding property matters, regarding family matters. So that is also very, very important. That gives you practical knowledge to deal with the clients, how to deal with the clients, how to negotiate with, how to make them aware about their rights and duties, etc. National study too is also the important part. Supreme Court, National Human Rights Commission, National Company Law Tribunal, National Green Tribunal. International immersion program is also there. National University of Singapore, because MIT WPU believes in the 4 pillars. The first is the partnership in social innovation, and then research and technology. So the partnership with the universities, foreign universities, and the industries collaboration. So these all are the very, very important features which comes under Faculty of Law. Moot court is a important part of curriculum. It is mandatory for all the law students, but the difference is that in MIT WPU Faculty of Law, in the first year, will give exposure to the students to participate in national law court, moot courts competition, intercollegiate moot court competition, to develop their confidence and overall personality, so that after graduation, they can directly appear before the High Court, Supreme Court to, for enforcement the rights of the citizens or the subjects of this country. So the next thing is that about UGPET. It's a undergraduate program entrance test based on 5 parameters with 100 marks: basic math, basic English, general knowledge, logical reasoning, and basic of computers. I hope I was able to share all information to you about career in law, specifically in the corporate law. Hope you all enjoyed and liked my session. I would like to hear your feedback on this webinar on our mail. This is our website. Check out our mail ID. With this, we are coming towards the end of our webinar. I wish all the best for your future endeavors. Stay safe, take care of yourself, take care of your family. See you soon. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So we have Namrata who's asking us, just a second. All right, so we have somebody who is asking us, do we have BCom honors at MIT WPU? Request the panelists to take this up. I believe we are facing a quick technical issue at this end. Professor Inamdar, if you can hear me, do let me know. Somebody is asking us if we have BCom honors available at MIT WPU.
Yes, yes. We have a BCom honors courses there. It's a 5 years integrated program with a commerce degree. Minor subjects are commerce and the major subjects are core law subjects. So it's a BCom LLB honors is there in our campus, university.
Okay, great.
Yes.
So we have another question from Akanksha, and she's asking us, please elaborate on the BBA LLB program at MIT WPU.
Okay, so the BBA LLB, may I proceed?
Sure, ma'am. Yes, please.
Yeah, BBA LLB honors is a specialized program. It's a 5 years integrated law program with 251 credits and 15 trimester. We have a 15 trimester pattern in the MIT World Peace University. So, and it's a credit-based program. So BBA LLB honors, 2 years we have a management subject like PPMOB, then marketing and practice of management, then communication skill, then financial management, and with law subjects like law of tort, Consumer Protection Act, constitutional law. So that management and law, that integration is there. First 2 years, then third year onwards core law subjects are there, and the last year, fourth year, we have honors specialization in which 2 honors groups are there: business law, then intellectual property rights, then human rights, and then the third one is that the ADR and intellectual property rights. So that 4 honors groups are there. So simultaneously you can do honors specialization along with management subject and core law subjects.
Great. All right. So we have Swarali who's asking us, can you brief us about the entrance exam and is it conducted for this program?
That UGPET is an entrance exam conducted by the MIT WPU. UGPET is an undergraduate program entrance test which is based on 5 parameters with 100 marks, which includes basic math, basic English, general knowledge, legal reasoning, logical reasoning, and basic computers, and 50 marks for personal interview. So out of 150, you have to score a minimum 50% of mark to be eligible to be a part of MIT WPU family, and accordingly we'll give admission to the student.
Great. Neeta ma'am, would you like to add anything to that?
I'd just like to add that currently the exam is scheduled for 27th of May, but given the situation in the country, this date could change. This exam is most likely going to be conducted online. You will possibly get about a week before the exam a kind of a test exam that you can try yourself at your own time. And during a particular time, you'd be expected to be online on the 27th of May or a date later in case it changes. And you can take the exam right from home. So that's just an update in addition to what ma'am was saying.
Great. Thank you so much. Okay. So somebody else in the same note is asking us, what syllabus should I study for the entrance exam? So ma'am, if you have any helpful tips as to the syllabus and what students can sort of study to feel well prepared for our entrance exam, that would be great.
Madam Sucha, I'll take this question further. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yeah. Hi, this is Dr. Shailesh Haridas. I'm the Dean for Faculty of Law. As far as your entrance examination is considered, we we take the scores of your CLAT examination, CET examination. We also have, SLAT examination and all those. But along with that, if you don't have any of those scores, you can also give the examination which is conducted by the World Peace University, MIT World Peace University. So as a part of this UG-PATE examination, we have one as a written examination, which is an online written examination, and the other one is the interview. As far as the interview is considered, we just would like to find out how passionate you are about the law program. But as far as the entrance examination is considered, which consists of your aptitude, again, it's a very basic level, your aptitude examination. And then we have the logical reasoning, we have a simple English test and all this. So that's how the entire examination consists of as such. Over to Dr. Inamdar, if you would like to add anything on the examination part.
Yes, ma'am. You're absolutely right. We have a CLAT, MSCT, LSAT, and UG-PATE, and it's a combination of theory, practice, and the along with the personal interview. And even if you are cleared CLAT, MSCT, or LSAT, we consider the score of all the 3 exams. But personal interview is important so that they can eligible to be a part of our MIT Faculty of Law family.
Okay. Along with this, I just wanted to add 30 seconds, Madam Suchi here.
Sure,
that whosoever, they take our entrance examination, I mean the UG-PATE examination, they have good chance of getting into the merit list also. And based on the merit list, we have the scholarship schemes. Like the 5% of our batch, we give them the 100% scholarship for entire 5 years. Whosoever tops our merit list as far as the entrance examination is considered. So I suggest that the potential students, they should go for our UG-PATE examination in order to score better and in order to get the scholarship further on that. If you come from any other source like CLAT or SLAT and all, you may not get the scholarship in that case. So even if you have that score, if you want the scholarship, I suggest you come for UG-PATE examination, you fill up the form, and my executives, our team will get back to you as far as the examination and the scholarship and everything is considered as such. And it's 5 years. You don't have to pay any tuition fees for the program, which is definitely a good amount as such. But this will be given for all the meritorious students as such. Over to you, Suchi.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Okay, so we have a question from Drishti, and she asks us, can someone pursue this degree if they took computers in their 12th standard instead of maths?
Definitely possible. See, the 12th score is something which we think about getting into the graduation as such. Any subjects, either it may be science or commerce or arts, any stream is absolutely fine, or any subjects are absolutely fine. In order to get the admission in MIT World Peace University, students have to secure more than 50% in their 12th standard. And rest all the admission is given based on the entrance examination. Admission merit list is not made based on the 12th scores at all. Please make it, I'm making it very clear. 12th, you have to have minimum 50% of the marks. But whereas in order to get the admission for MIT WPU, you have to have the entrance examination, and based on the entrance examination results, you will be giving the seats, you will be offering the admission. Over to you, Suchi.
Great. So the next student asks us, how are the placement facilities after doing BBA LLB at MIT WPU, and what will be the surety about getting a good job?
I suggest Madam Chainika to take up this, please.
Yes, good evening to you all. As far as placement is concerned, we provide 100% placement opportunities. We will act as a bridge for you and the company or the firm so that you get the best of opportunities. Now, as far as your surety of getting a job is concerned, of course, it will depend on your performance as well. But as far as providing the assistance is concerned, we provide 100% assistance. Like as of now, we are providing for the internship, the first years and the second years. We are providing 100% internship opportunities to all our students. Over to you.
Yeah, I'll add 30 seconds further, Madam Suchi.
ma'am.
Yeah. See, as far as MIT is considered, you all must have heard about the legacy of MIT World Peace University. This has 4 decades of educational experience. and all our management and engineering is very popular. As far as MIT is considered, we stand at number 12 as far as our engineering program is considered. We are around 15 to 20 in terms of management. I'm talking about all India rankings. So we are one of the private university, best private university in the world. We come under top 10 of one of the best private university in the world. So when once we have such a good brand name and a goodwill of the institution, placement is not at all a problem for us. I always say this to all my students, saying that calling the company is not at all a problem, but for getting selected, you need to learn better with us. Like we are here to give our hand, but you also give your hand so that we do your hand holding, and you need to study that further, and you need to get selected. So that's something which we always talk about. As far as the law placements are considered, we have already given the internships to all the students whosoever wish to do that. Along with that, we'll be also giving the internship with Human Rights Commission. We have the other units. See, please understand, this is the university. We have so many other programs. It's not the standalone college, the way the other colleges are having. Like say, for example, we do the internship with Human Rights Commission. Some other schools have the tie-up with Human Rights Commission, and then we will be in a position to give you the internship there also. We also have complete corporate, the cell, which they're working only for the placement issues are considered. So I don't think any problem in getting the placement, and especially if you really would like to want the placement after your graduation, I suggest that you join MIT only for that. I think Madam Neeta, if you would like to add something more on this.
I'd just like to add in that at the university, we have a lot of departments here. One of them is called the Center of Industry Academy Partnerships. And there's a team of almost 30 people there who's working full-time just to get more and more partnerships with industry, to get more companies on board, to keep the engagement on with companies which have been coming to us for quite some time. And really, they work on internships, on Alumni Connect, on placements, and on industry partnerships. So we get a lot of alumni who've actually started their own companies and come back here for hiring now. We've got a lot of alumni at very top positions in a lot of big companies in around Pune, across India, and a large number of alumni in the US and all across the world as well. So everybody really works hard along with the faculty. There are trainings now set up almost from the first year to make you ready for placements when the time comes. At the end of the day, of course, like Chanika ma'am said, it depends on your performance too. At the end of the day, inputs from your parents, from faculty, from alumni, from anyone can happen, but you have to sit in the interview. So you also have to put your effort into it. That's it. Thank you.
I'd like to add 30 seconds more here, Madam. Along with the placement, I suggest the potential candidates or the law aspirants, they have to think about the other exposure also. So as far as the other exposure is considered, we already have set legal aid clinic where some of the people, they come up with a live case, and our students along with the faculty members, they give complete legal advice. We take our students to the rural areas where whenever they are going to the rural areas, all my students, they study the legal issues of those rural areas and they give the suggestion there. We take our students to Supreme Court, we take them to the high courts. We invite many corporate lawyers or many advocates from high courts and Supreme Courts and all. And whenever all these people are coming and talking to them, they get hands-on experience that how to handle the legal field as such. So one is the placement, which is the outcome, and the other one is a process I'm talking about, which makes you eligible to be a potential candidate in the job market. So both these are very, very important for any potential candidates to think and then apply. Over to you, Suchi.
Okay, great. So guys, students, as you know, we are currently taking all your live Q&As in this segment. So go ahead and keep typing in your questions and we'll really try to get to it. Our next question, the student asks, how many marks should we score minimum in the entrance exam in order to get admission in MIT for this degree?
As far as cutoff, this is a common question which everybody asks as such. See, once we are making the merit list, as I said, we have our own entrance examination. So when once we have the examination, we get it from the pool of application, and based on the pool of application, we conduct the examination and we make the merit list and we offer the admissions. We have 120 seats for BBA LLB and 120 seats for BCom LLB, and these are approved by Bar Council of India. So in order to be eligible, you have to have 50% in 12th, but the merit list, the cutoff and everything is based on the pool of the application, which changes every year as such. Yeah, that's from my side. I think Madam Nita can add something more to that.
No, I think, ma'am, you covered the whole thing. The marks do change every year. The cutoffs keep changing every year, and it does depend on the pool of applicants.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
it's better that the students applies, and then our executives can call them back and give much more details on this.
Yeah, we will be calling them.
Yeah.
Great. So we have another student who's asking us, on what basis is the scholarship granted at MIT WPU for this program?
Yeah, I fully appreciate the question. The scholarship is given only on the basis of the merit. I repeat what I said, the scholarship is given only on the basis of the merit. We have one scholarship, which is Dr. Vishwanath Karad scholarship, which we are giving it to 5% of our students. Those are top in our merit list. That's something I'm talking about, where they will be getting the waiver in tuition fees in all 5 years. If you're opting for the 5 years program, that's what is actually the great scholarship support which our university is giving it to all meritorious students. Along with that, we also have much more scholarship facilities. Like if your percentage score in 12th is above 90% or above 95% or above 85%, we have different cutoff, and we have different sets of scholarship for all those. The detailed scholarship policy is available on our web page. I suggest my panel members, you can also put the link on the chat so that the candidates can directly go there and check all the details as such. Go to you, Suchi.
Absolutely, like ma'am said, guys, a lot of scholarship information is of course available on our website, and so please do check it out. And once again, reminder announcement to all students who are keen on the BBA LLB degree, you've come to the right place and the right webinar to find all interesting details on this. Please go ahead and send in your applications for admissions for this degree. You can log into admissions.mitwpu.edu.in and click on the BBA LLB program for the degree. Guys, send in your applications early. Let's not delay this, because we have lots and lots of information that we would be sending to you after you send in your applications to us. And since we are in a lockdown and in an uncertain situation, we're working very hard to make sure we cater to every single student who has applied with us. And we want to help you with your admissions process and the selection procedure. We are working to make sure that if the situation doesn't change, we will be happy to take it online if that is a more fruitful attempt. So guys, like I said, send in your applications and keep shooting in your questions. We have a few more minutes to go, so please send in your questions. We've got some very interesting questions today. And now we'll move on to our next question. One student wants to know more information in terms of the subjects for the BBA LLB program.
Over to Professor Inamdar or Professor Divanshu. Anyone can take it up, please.
Okay, may I proceed? Am I
Yes,
please go ahead.
Yes, for BBA LLB honors, it's a 15 trimester program. So in the first year, we have a management subject of business ethics. Then second year, we have a subject of principles and practice of management and organizational behavior. Then interface of law with society and economy in the third trimester, along with financial accounting and management. Then marketing management in the fourth trimester with business communication. And for fifth trimester, we have a managerial economics, financial institution and market, import-export management. And the sixth trimester, that is the last trimester of the management subject, it's the principles of auditing. So these all are the management subjects up to 6th trimester. And then 7, 8, 9, 10 to 15 trimester, we have a core law subjects like jurisprudence, PC, CRPC, CPC, etc.
Yeah, I just want to add here, as far as see BBA LLB program is considered, this is the blend of management and the law subjects as such. Like when once you are studying, say for example, economics, no, it's not that you are studying only management subject. You are talking about the monopolist restrictive trade practice, which is again the legal term as such. Or say for example, you are talking about pricing, which is again part of economics. But here you're talking about the MRP, right? So how the MRP set, you find MRP each of those products. So what are the legal connection behind setting the MRP? All these are the subjects which are taught here. So it's not just management, it's not just law, it's a blend of management and law both put sorry, I think I'm audible now, possibly.
You are audible now. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, sorry.
No.
I was talking about in addition to the subjects which Madam Inamdar spoke, I was talking about the way we have the subjects here. It's a good blend of management and law subjects. So I was giving the example of, say for example, one subject of economics, where we are talking about economics as monopolist restrictive trade practice, which is the legal term which is used as far as the business houses are considered. Or say for example, you are fixing the price of the product, which is again the management side example I'm giving. But we study how do we fix the MRP? What is the legal issues behind fixing the MRP? What happens if you sell it for more, or what happens if you sell it for less? So all these are the legal connection which is there behind. So this is how we have made a blend of management and the legal subjects. Same even with BCom LLB2. If you're talking about taxation, I'll give you the example of GST. So if you're talking about GST, if you're talking about costing, all these are again commerce related subject. But GST, we just don't study only the GST. We talk about the tax implications along with the legal implications of GST. That's how our syllabus is completely made and the subject is completely taught. And this is one of the unique program, and we are one of the unique school all over in India, where we have made a good blend of both these subjects. My academic structure is really strong. I'm very proud to say that the academic structure is so strong that none of the universities will make a blend like this. That is something you all should consider. That's what I always feel as such. And our academic structure is also appreciated by the Bar Council of India too. When they had come to us for the inspection and all, they appreciated our the curriculum. The entire curriculum, entire subject basket is made along, with the help of the board members which we have. Dr. Inamdar, she was talking about all great board members which we have. And these are the people, they keep on helping us, they keep on guiding us to talk about how law subject has to be taught and what are the subjects which we need to teach. And all these are things as such. So whenever you're going for that, always think about the academic structure, the syllabus and everything, and then think about going for the program. That's what is my advice to all of you. Over to you, Suchi.
Okay, great. All right. So guys, as you know, I hope we've answered most of your questions. On your screen right now, you can see that we are sharing our WhatsApp number with you. That's 9881 492 848. If you have any further queries after this webinar, please get on to WhatsApp on that number with us, and we will be happy to share more help, more relevant information with you. And like I said one more time, go ahead and send in your admissions applications at admissions.mitwpu.edu.in, and you can pick the program BBA LLB for this particular course. I also want to let you know, guys, that we are uploading this on YouTube. So this entire webinar will be uploaded on YouTube on the MIT World Peace University official YouTube channel. So go ahead and you can subscribe to that channel or keep an eye out for this particular webinar to be uploaded maybe in a couple of days, in 2-3 days time, so that you can come back to all this information that was shared with you today, and hopefully this will help you make a further decision on this degree and your future. All right. So
Madam Suchi, Madam Suchi,
Yes.
I just wanted to add, maybe around 20, 25 seconds here.
Sure.
I saw one question earlier saying that what is the role of lawyers in NGO? I have
Correct.
personally answered that question, but I just want to answer that live too, if it's,
Absolutely.
it permits in our time as such. See,
Sure.
once we are talking about NGOs, there are a lot of NGOs working for legal issues. You talk about environment, those are near Pune will definitely understand this. You talk about these Lavasa cases which has happened. So this Lavasa itself is a great, example to handle. This has been handled through NGO. Or human trafficking, you all have heard so many times as such. So when once you're talking about human trafficking, again, many of the NGOs are working towards this. So I just want to answer it again, saying that there's a huge scope for the lawyers or the advocates as for the NGOs are considered. Over to you, Suchi.
Great. Okay, so guys, with that, we are coming slowly to an end to our webinar today. I will be starting a quick student feedback poll for you guys. And please let us know your thoughts if you found this webinar helpful. Go ahead and share your feedback with us. It really, really helps us in keeping things very, very streamlined so that we can help you more with your feedback.